We all need a bit of privacy now and again. It's your human right, after all, to go about your day and not be watched over all the time by some kind of Big Brother surveillance technology. As that technology improves, though, and since you willingly feed huge chunks of personal data in a connected device, to some extent Big Brother already knows a lot about you. But imagine a bigger brother is watching over us. Surveillance that tracks humankind. That's not part of the world we know. Imagine the Earth is a kind of zoo and we're specimens to be studied. That might sound far-fetched, but there are some serious people who believe it to be true. Let us explain. There's this thing called zoo theory, which is sometimes called the zoo hypothesis. This theory tells us that there's a chance that we're being watched over by extraterrestrial life, but those guys are just not in the mood to tell us about it. We are animals living in their zoo. According to this theory, one of the reasons they don't come down here is that they want us to evolve naturally. Their superior intelligence would blow our minds. They might be looking down right now thinking, it's about time those guys stopped having wars and started sharing things, but they want us to evolve by ourselves. Then there's the Fermi paradox, which basically states that there are billions of stars in the Milky Way, and so the chance that humans are alone is pretty much nil. There just has to be intelligent life out there, and it must have technology that allows interstellar travel. Then you have to consider the universe outside of the Milky Way, and the number of stars is mind-blowing. Surely it's arrogant to believe that we're all alone, as if us little humans rule the universe. There's an organization called Messaging Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or METI for short. This group comprises of many scientists, and they get together to discuss the possibility of contacting aliens, or us being watched over by aliens. On their website, the first thing you see is a statement that says METI doesn't rule out the possibility of life outside of Earth. If you scroll down, you'll see their list of objectives, and the first one goes like this: to conduct scientific research and educational programs in messaging extraterrestrial intelligence and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Scientists from all walks of life that are in METI are doing things right now, such as working on interstellar transmission technology. If ET could phone home, maybe humans could develop such long-distance communication tech. They also discuss the Fermi paradox and something called the Drake equation, which takes into account the size and age of the universe and what might be in it. Again, these people are not conspiracy theorists getting high in parents' basements. They are scientists. The president of METI is one Douglas Vakoch, and he's a renowned astrobiologist. This science is concerned with the evolution of the universe. For a long time, he's been working on interstellar messaging, but he's also well aware that human senses might not exactly work with alien senses. Even if we could send messages to other galaxies, if we said, "Hey guys, how's it going?" it might not work out. In fact, one of the latest blogs on the METI website asks if human language is any way to try and connect with aliens. The writer asks, is it a good way to send information to beings who are likely to be very different from us, whose bodies, sensory capabilities, cognition, environment, and experiences may be very different from our own? Then if we send out a message in human language form, which language? She states that while the Voyager disk, which is aboard NASA's famous Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft, might have lots of information on it in 55 languages, we might better try and communicate in signs, shapes, and symbols and numbers. What's on the disk, you might ask? Well, if aliens pick it up, they'll find images of nature here on Earth, as well as many sounds of nature. They'll hear a message from former US President Jimmy Carter and be able to get down with a bit of Morse code. They'll see images of humans doing things and listen to the likes of Mozart and Beethoven. Chuck Berry is also on there, but unfortunately, no Led Zeppelin. They actually wanted to put the Beatles on the disc, but the record company EMI wouldn't allow that. Yeah, it's true. So back to the zoo. Those guys at METI often discuss something called the Great Silence, which relates to the question of why do these galactic zookeepers keep out of our face? Well, it's like we said, if aliens are that superior in intelligence, if they came into contact with us, they'd mess with our heads. We'd have to reevaluate life itself, and this would cause chaos. Just imagine if one day your dog got up and said in perfect English, "Hey buddy, can we skip the walk today? I'm thinking about going to Rover's house to discuss Wittgenstein's theory of the talking lion." If that happened, we'd have to start rewriting a few books, so the aliens stay away. In 2018, at a METI meeting, they talked about the idea of us being quarantined by aliens. This is how one researcher at METI explained that. It seems likely that extraterrestrials are imposing a galactic quarantine because they realize it would be culturally disruptive for us to learn about them. It's kind of the same thing as talking dogs. If they got into contact, our culture and society would be so disrupted we would just collapse for a while. Just imagine if right now, as you're watching this, an alien spacecraft pops up outside your window. You're then informed that the world is an illusion and your consciousness is eternal and infinite. We bet you wouldn't clock in at work or go to school tomorrow. Some folks at METI also say that we haven't developed full cognitive abilities yet, that there might be another level of consciousness in our evolution. The famous, now deceased Terence McKenna believed that certain psychedelics could provide a glimpse of what was possible in terms of developing a higher consciousness. He once said the idea of aliens coming down in a metal ship is totally preposterous. He believed alien life could be already here, and they might actually be in psilocybin mushrooms hidden in the very atoms of the things. He said those mushrooms are disguised as a drug, but might really be aliens. They are here, according to him, but we just don't get it yet. This might sound crazy to you, but serious scientists are now talking about the mind-blowing substance dimethyltryptamine, DMT, which takes people to places that are out of this world. Yes, lots of people visit aliens on their colorful trips. Research has shown that some people are absolutely convinced they saw aliens. This is why scientists at Johns Hopkins have been studying those breakthrough trips. We found more scientific research in the US that is taking seriously the possibility of DMT shooting people to another universe. In the mind, anyway. We're not saying this is proof that aliens are among us and we're being watched by them, but it's interesting that science is taking DMT so seriously as of late. Joe Rogan must be very proud, because any chance he gets he mentions his DMT experiences. He certainly wouldn't dismiss the alien contact theory. Then there's this theory. Maybe millions of years ago aliens detected life on a blue planet, the one we call home. They thought, let's send some signals to that place and see what happens. But let's just say that vampire squids and the Gojirasaurus weren't up for chatting. We weren't evolved just yet. We pretty much spent most of our time eating, fighting, procreating, and pooping. The aliens had to wait. So what did they do next? Once they'd been snubbed by basic life on Earth, they sent a probe here and bugged a rock. Why, you might ask? The answer is they wanted to keep an eye on us. Back to the zoo theory thing. The rock they bugged, though, was what was called co-orbital, meaning that it flies around the Earth. If you want a good view of Earth, there's not much point in bugging a rock actually on the planet. A researcher named James Benford, who's also part of the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence group, came up with this idea. Why does he think that? Well, it seems like quite the long shot. Well, it's not that he's certain, but it would make sense. What he's saying is that why not go check out some of those co-orbitals and see if any of them have not been bugged. Another researcher wrote, if it costs very little to go take a look, why not? Even if we don't find ET, we might find something of interest. The closest one is about 38 times further away from Earth than the Moon. We call it the Earth's closest companion, and NASA has said that it's not going anywhere. Well, we mean it's gonna hang around near Earth for centuries to come. That's why some folks are saying we need to do some more extraterrestrial archaeology. Start digging, NASA, because there might be a chance that we're part of an alien-led surveillance state. You might think that it's very hard to send a spacecraft that far, but from what we can see, it's not that hard. In fact, China said it'll send a spacecraft to Earth's closest companion in 2024. The spaceship Chang'e will be equipped with robots that will do a bit of digging around. Maybe they'll come back with some bugs and blow our minds. But if there's a trade war still going on, you can expect the Chinese not to share in the spoils. If in 2025 China suddenly starts speaking alien, you know how it happened. Some of those researchers really do think that those space rocks might be bugged, and they are the best chance we have of finding out if we're in a space zoo. One scientist said, if we don't find anything, that means no one has come to look at life of Earth for over billions of years. That's a big surprise, a stunning thing. When you consider what we've done over our 10,000 plus years of being fairly civilized, imagine what a species could do given a million years. Imagine what we will be capable of in a million years. Yes, we'll be all over the universe. There are things we'll achieve that we can't possibly imagine now. Imagine telling a guy in the dark ages about a show you watch online called The Infographic Show. He could not possibly envision the future, and neither can you. With that in mind, maybe a super civilization did visit us a long time ago. Maybe we're just slow to get out of the blocks. The idea of there being these super civilized space folks has been embraced by a lot of our greatest scientists. Carl Sagan was one of those scientists, and here's a lovely quote from him. The universe is a pretty big place. If it's just us, seems like an awful waste of space. So that's it, really. When you look up into the sky, just imagine someone has been watching us evolve. The big brother who's been around for millions and millions of years saw us crawl out of the swamp. They watched as we stood up and started making spears and drawing pictures of buffalo on cave walls. We hunted and gathered, and a few thousand years later, we started talking about gods that live in the skies. They must have loved that. Then they witnessed endless wars as we struggled to fight over land or which region was the right one. Come on, guys, they thought. It's us, we're your gods, get with the program. They were astounded when we built bombs that could destroy an entire planet. They knew who killed JFK and why those guards were sleeping when Mr. Epstein ran out of air. They're confounded by President Donald Trump's Twitter feed, and they're keeping an eye on you right now as you get to the end of the show. We might also add that while it's very plausible that aliens exist and are watching over us, in terms of scientific proof, well, that's yet to come. If you like this video and you want to see more videos about crazy and unbelievable topics, then click on this video right here or this video over here and start watching right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.